Such a black magic woman.
As if he's wearing red.
And he's such a crowley.
But he's wearing black.
Yeah, rides are good. I can jump off that. She's a black magic woman and they live in hell down below.
Hey, Rob. What are you up to?
Thank you very much.
That slipped out, I heard.
Yeah, so I thought people knew. Apparently they did not.
Well done.
You knew, right?
I didn't know.
That would have been really scary.
This week I was surprised, but back then.
So you're officially his financier.
Yeah,
Something like that. He's financier.
We're gonna get married. What do you think?
Been,
will you be the ring bearer?
Rob's just trying to catch up with you.
But
mine's been stamped 4 times.
I know.
So,
yeah.
well, actually, I've been married. I got married 6 times. But to 4 people.
Wow.
6 weddings.
This will be my
So
second.
4 more, I get a free one.
This will be my second and last. So
Second
for Ruth,
and
it's
last.
second and last. But for Ruth, it's the first of several.
I love that he's under the opinion that anybody else would take it.
No, I like you as the ring bearer.
Hey, you lot, who's coming to the concert tonight? Really? The rest of you are undecided? We'll see you there. What's happening tonight?
Concert. We're doing a concert, a Saturday night special. And special guests include lots of people, but most importantly, Mark Shepard.
He's the most special guest of them all.
Still working?
We're good.
All right, have fun, guys.
All right, see you later.
Thanks for
Dad.
I'm your stepdad.
Oh, God, this is not the way I expected it to go.
Oh dear.
Of all the tall people in Vancouver, I got you two. Terrible.
Going back to your previous point, hands up who's undecided about this evening. Hands up who's not going. Hands up if you're not going. Come on, tell us the truth. Hands up. Wait, now take that and slap yourself in the head. Because you're missing out on a really good time. I hope you can go. I hope everyone can
It
go.
took us years to build it. Show up, you bastards. God, it's so much fun. Who here has been to a Saturday night special before? How good is it?
Hands up who's new to conventions. This is your first convention. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Are you all going to the concert too? We're going to have a great time. I'm going to ask you about it tomorrow and you'll all be like, hopefully a little bit hungover and tired. Sign of a good night. Or if you're sober, just tired. Maybe a little bit hoarse from singing along. Like that talking. Okay, we're going to answer some questions now.
Oh,
Mark's, just so you know, Mark's answer is no. And if you want to...
No, you got to do it properly. No.
Mark's answer is no. Just so you're warned in advance, okay? But we will pretend to try and answer your questions and see what happens, okay? We're going to start with this
It's
side.
never going to work.
What's your name? Where are you from? What do you want?
When do you want it?
Okay, so my name is Cass, and I'm... I knew that would happen. And I'm from Chicagoland. And I was wondering, can either of you do a generic American accent? Otherwise, I have a backup question because I'm taking your silence as a no.
I'm a frigging Emmy ballot as an American. What's your issue? I'll watch more TV.
Yeah, that's what's wrong with you. You're not watching enough TV.
That's all that's wrong with it. They start out with a name.
All right.
Is that short for Cassiopeia?
Yes, we both do.
Okay.
But
So,
we're not doing it just now. We're not doing it just now.
okay. So then my backup question is: were there any moments where you messed up your line so much that you just kind of like lost it, or someone else messed up their line so much that you just kind of like lost it?
Yes.
Yes.
Can you elaborate, please?
No.
I'm sorry, Kaz. We don't mean to give you a
All right, I'll tell the story. It's easier.
You do.
It is. So Jensen doesn't mess up his lines. He's got years of being a rather brilliant soap actor as well, you know, so he had that muscle of being able to learn pages and pages of dialogue and just ramble off, get it all done. So unfortunately, we did a scene one day where he has the line, "I'd rather be slapped in the face during sex by a girl with a Zorro mask." 38 takes. Because Jared jumped on him when he messed it up on the first time. It was the most wonderful thing to watch because he was determined to get it right. It just went for hours.
Jensen never gets anything wrong,
No.
ever.
No,
He's an android. He's not actually a human man. His freckles are symmetrical if you look closely in his photo op. And he never makes mistakes. He does not get things wrong, but he just could not, right? He just could not get out.
But Jared got under his skin and it was literally impossible to get through. In fact, the gag reel from that year that was our gag reel was the 38 interstitial times that he didn't get it right and all the cursing that went on in between. This is Jared going, "Excuse me? Sorry, what was that?"
I like to think of myself as very professional and, well, you know, I was reliable in terms of, like, you know, knowing what I was doing most of the time. So I never broke once in 6 years. I did not break. Like, my theatre training was, even when Jared might have held up a gigantic sex toy in front of my face, I still continued on like nothing was going wrong. So I wasn't much use for the gag reels. I was pretty straight-laced. However, my last season, they broke me. They wore me down. It was because they put us in a group. Like, you can't stand Jared, Jensen, me, like, like all of us standing in a group, looking at each other for a long time. When you've got that many people in a group, you've got to do coverage from all the different angles, it takes a long time. And I had to say a piece of Latin, which was something like volo something. And it was a spell of my own making. And I accidentally got tongue-tied and said vulva. But kept going. I kept going because but I think it was Jared. It was like, sorry, Rowena, what was that you said? He interjects. And then it just fell apart from there. And you can see steam coming off of me. I'm so embarrassed. It's like laughing so hard and like sweating so hard. It took about 6 minutes for us to get back on track. And there's actually there's a reel online if you look it up. You can see.
I was gonna say I've seen it.
Yeah. I lasted 6 years and then they broke me. And when they broke me, I was trashed.
The time we laughed the hardest is when Misha came in with the marking on his chest. We couldn't get work done for the better part of an hour.
No, and the head of Warner Brothers is like standing behind us.
So yeah, you work hard, you play hard. That's why it's fun.
Awesome, thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you for your questions, Kaz. Thank you. Bye. Hi.
Hello. My question is, if you could play any other role in Supernatural, what would it be?
I'd like to play Olivet the hamster. Just to give you shit from inside the cage. Just give you a hard time.
That
Like,
day is indelibly carved into my brain. I'm literally going, they've just run out of things to do. It's like you're going to act with a hamster. It took hours. Yeah. Well,
I would have been faster if it had been me playing all of it. I would have been a
I just love the
faster.
fact that they put a necklace on it to match the witch. So, but now there are no other roles in Supernatural other than Crowley. So there you go.
Thank you.
Thank you, sweetheart. Hi.
Okay, so like, because you guys have made so many seasons, what would be your guys' favorite memory from the whole entire thing?
In what context? Work or?
Either like a scene that you're making and somebody did something funny, or just like
We never
you guys
did anything
hanging out
funny.
together.
What? I mean, they all had kids in between them. It was amazing at times during the seasons that we went through. Marriages, kids, relationships, all sorts of fabulous things happened. But for me, the end of season 8 was just like the most magical time because, yeah, I mean, you had seasons 1 to 5. There was a story. The story was supposed to end in season 5. That was the end of Cricket's story. And then, Sarah came in and she had to steer this boat away from the iceberg. I mean, the obvious thing, if it's over, how do you end with the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse and then start again? And I thought it was rather brilliant. Some of season 6 has got some of the best standalone episodes there is. French Mistake and all that stuff. Bobby's, that's all in 6. It's amazing stuff. And I thought she did a brilliant job.
Ben Edlund and all those people
Yeah.
writing.
It was amazing fun doing that stuff, and it was great. And then 7 was a weird season. It was a very serialized season with one through story, and which would have, I think, just me personally, I think season 7 would have been a great season 12. You know what I mean? But I don't think we were ready for that long form story. And Jeremy came in for season 8 and went, what about Angels and Demons? And went back to the core of it. And it just became this a fantastic season. And it kicked off that whole regeneration. And season 8 into 9 into 10 became, I think, some of the best stuff ever. But for me, the end of season 8, the last, the human blood, all the way from Abaddon, all the way through to the angels falling from the sky, is just an extraordinary end of the season. And it was a magical time, so it's a great thing to do.
There were so many fantastic moments. I was so happy to be there and so appreciating being there, and we had so much fun. And so when somebody asks me what my favourite, those kind of questions, basically like I flipped the Rolodex in my brain, and I remember one moment that was fantastic where I had a female director, Nina Corrado, who I really loved working with, and we had a lot of freedom by the end on set, where you could just walk through an entire set.
Bus station, I never forget the bus station.
Yeah.
Freezing your glass off.
Pouring boiling hot water in my hands. -7 degrees.
It was absolutely freezing. But I think I had the great privilege of being I was at a creation convention, I think 17, and in the middle of guest talk I was wondering about, and everybody lifted up a paddle, and on the paddle was lines and quotes from Crowley over the 8 years or so that I was there. And it was funny walking around and I could remember the context of everything that it was. Because there was some great lines that they used to fight to find these stupid things to say. But it was just magical, and then it would sort of put it into a context. I think of it as all one big giant long episode. I really do. I forget certain things. Like I was doing Robin Rich's podcast, and I was talking about it, and I said, well, later on, I think you find that I do this, and no, that's in this episode. I'm like, oh shit, I don't remember the exactitude of, in the character development, not in the events or the particular guest star or the particular story, but I forget where the character development points are. Unless I go back and watch, and it's like, oh wow, we did a lot of stuff in there. And there was some magical stuff. I thought, you and I had so much fun with, that first season we were together. It was just really, really, really cool. It was just finding the way of making that work. It's a glorious thing to do. It's a great set of memories. I mean, no shows go 15 years. No shows go 15 years. especially not with the same sort of core cast. You know, it's not a usual thing to happen. So it's a remarkable thing. And you guys coming to it new is mind-blowing to me because, you know, oh yeah, we watched it all in 3 months over summer. It's like 15 years of our lives.
It took people 20 years of their lives to get here to be doing this now.
I don't remember what I was doing in 09. You watched it in 3 days.
Hi.
Hi, my name is Jordan and I'm from Iowa. I was just...
Sorry.
I honestly appreciate that. I really feel that. I was wondering, what is your favorite insult to give to people?
Can't say that out loud.
It doesn't have to have cursing in it.
I used it in the show one time. I had lived it in the show, and I think it's a good one when you call somebody a nincompoop. Yeah, it's just so silly, and it's like it's not that harsh, but like it does sum it all up. Like you're a nincompoop.
I like it when Sarah goes, "You can't do that, you muppet."
Muppet's quite
Muppet is really
quite harsh.
You think that's harsh?
Yeah.
It's a cursory Australian thing to say.
In Scotland, you're Muppet. You say
Really?
that, yeah.
That's funny.
Insults,
I like these ones. You ready?
Insults without curse words are way better, I think.
Yeah.
I got the best ones. You ready?
Go.
So, bullshit. Bollocks. I like bollocks too.
Bollocks ones.
I love it when people put words together that don't normally go together. Where are you all going? Is it Jared or Jensen? Who is it? Is it Misha?
They're going to see Jared's solo photo.
I completely understand if you go.
By the way, that's my favourite curse word. Jared.
What's your favorite insult?
Misha.
I had to Google an insult that I said. Somebody in the show wrote that I had to say these rubes, R-U-B-E-S. And I was like,
Oh yeah.
I don't know what it was. I had to Google it. And I changed it for tumshies, which means turnip heads. It's the equivalent of stuff in Scotland. It was fun in the show getting some of my favourite kind of cheeky phrases in. I didn't get ball bagging. I failed to get ball bagging. But that would have been one I would have liked to have used for you.
What?
You guys should use an insult that they're not tall enough to be acting like that. So like Misha or something.
What?
It was a height joke.
What?
Height joke.
Height joke?
Because Misha's smaller than Jared and Jensen.
Everybody in the world is smaller than Jared. God's sakes, the number one thing said to me in the first year of me being on that show is, people see me in person and go, oh my God, we thought you were like really short. I'm like, I'm not. Only with them.
How do you think I feel?
But 6'5" and 6'2". That's not normal on television.
Not television,
normal,
no.
What?
Thank you.
Thank you.
What? I don't care about that. She's from Iowa.
Hi, I'm Noelle. Sorry, I'm gonna piss myself. I'm so nervous.
Please don't. That reminds me of the funniest thing ever said. There was a girl that was shaking at a convention in New Zealand. Tells you that. And I was there with Amanda Tapping. And I said, it's okay, take a deep breath. And she was a really tall girl. Broad shoulders. And she was looking at me, she goes, I'm just trying not to shit myself. She goes, the only thing you can say is like, keep trying.
Don't give up.
And it's just like,
Always keep fighting.
always keep farting. I mean, seriously. But it was, I'm just trying not to shit myself. It's like, that's a little on the nose. Would have been.
Anyway, is it one or a two?
So you haven't pissed yourself, you did good.
Not yet.
Okay, I can make it worse. Watch this.
This is so intimidating.
What's your bloody question?
So what's the weirdest thing you've ever gotten from like a fan or like a cast crew member?
A small child. Sarah was a fan, I am Isabella.
The weirdest thing I ever got was like a real hex bag.
Oh.
and it felt like it like had real hair and shit. And we were that freaked me out a little bit. But,
You gotta
I
try.
shouldn't have told the truth. It's too weird. I had something to do with it.
Is that Maggie, my sister?
What? Maggie? Your wee sister?
My wee sister.
Margaret, still call her Maggie. Hi.
Hi, I'm Lisa. I'm from Akron, Ohio.
Hi.
I wanted to say first, thanks.
Birthplace of Alcoholics Anonymous.
That's right. Thank you, Mark. I'm 16 months sober, actually.
Are there more sober people in that area because of that?
It is interesting. I mean, people flock there like a mecca, and so when I say Akron, it's either met with that or you LeBron, but there's a lot of great things happening in Akron, Ohio, for sure. Founders Day. Actually, that was my question, Mark. Have you ever been to a Founders Day, and would you want to go?
Where, what?
Have you ever been to a Founders Day and would you like to go?
It's basically a convention. I call it Dr. Bob Con. It's in Akron, Ohio.
Dr. Bob was a proctologist. And Bill Wilson was a con man.
Yeah.
I always thought that was the greatest way to start a movement for good.
That's right.
I'll tell you one AA story, which is my favorite thing. It was right at the beginning, they didn't think it was going to work, right? They never thought AA was going to work. And so, Bill Wilson was bringing drunks into the house. One of them burned down half the house. One burned a mattress. 2 or 3 of them died. I mean, he was literally bringing drunks off the street to try and see if this thing would actually work, right? And he went about 6 months, and it was a disaster. It was like the worst disaster ever. But he turned around to his wife, who was the founder of Al-Anon, of course, and said, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. This thing just doesn't work. And she turned around and said, you haven't had a drink in 6 months. And that was the point. So it's a rather remarkable thing for me. So if any of you here are struggling with it, let alone the other stuff we struggle with, if any of you are struggling with alcohol, there are lots of alternatives and things to do. Me personally, I haven't got AA, and I've been there for coming up 35 years, which is an extraordinary. In the context of so many other things that we do that are so positive. My friend Cubby Selby, who I wrote last night at Brooklyn and Requiem for a Dream and several other things, said it's the great spiritual experiment. It's, you know, anyone can walk through the doors of that thing, of AA, for example, and a lot of other things that have happened in the last few years. And I see a lot of mirrors of this with the supernatural family and the things that you know, the stupid one puts together, and just the want and the desire to not be alone with your problem, alone with your situation.
We're not supposed to be alone.
No, we're
with our
not. And it's
problems.
not natural. It's really, I genuinely agree with you. And the ability for men to talk to men and women to talk to women in that context and share experience. And I've been through that, and this is what I did. And maybe if you copy that, your life might go in the same direction as the person that you're envying their present. Is the most beautiful thing I've ever experienced in my life. And you know, you're new to conventions, as some of you are. I found that these are the most inclusive and safe places. I mean, it's remarkable to me. The world has got harsher and harsher in its existence. More, you know, the internet has not brought people together mostly. It's separated people. People are on their own, and a lot of people are struggling with both diagnosed and undiagnosed mental health conditions and health conditions and alcoholism, all sorts of brutal stuff that goes on in life. But I am seeing so many people come together to try to support each other in these times. So, you know, I was taught
We have a community here. This is community.
That's why I think this is so beautiful. And I was always taught, you know, whenever somebody reaches out, the hand of AA should be there. And it's the same thing as human beings. The ability to look at somebody and say, like, are you okay? Can I help you? Is the greatest gift you can have. So no matter how outside you feel, no matter how unique you feel, no matter how scared you might be, there's other people going through the same things as you. And if you talk about it, you probably won't kill yourself. If you talk about it, you probably won't kill somebody else. You might. But if you see it, you also have a duty to call it out and help them. That's the other truth to it. So it's a magical thing. Congratulations on your time. It's a wonderful thing. One day at a time. It's fantastic. But keep doing what you guys are doing, because we should do it. We should never be alone. This is not a world to be alone in. You know, that's the way it is. What do you need?
My name is Stephanie from Iowa.
You're not sure?
Did you forget
The education
Did you
system.
change your mind halfway through?
Everybody
Well,
calls
have you been there?
Iowa. Anyway, I'm not originally from there, so that's an excuse. Anyway, I was wondering, so a couple years ago, I rewatched X-Files after watching Supernatural, and
I think this is a question
got
for me.
to your episode in season 1, and I was wondering, the character reminded me a little of Crowley. He was kind of cocky, he was a little quieter than Crowley.
Typecast.
But I was wondering if you got any inspiration for Crowley from Bob
No.
the Caretaker.
God's sakes, just because he looks the same. Just a little bit. That's your projection, not mine. Very different. It was a fun episode to do. They didn't even know there were a series of that.
Yeah, it was a good episode.
It became a series during that episode. We had 3 million viewers when we did that. The first repeat was 6 million. The second repeat was 12 million. I mean, they went nuts. It was amazing. But they weren't even a series. I think it was episode 11. It was kind of amazing. It was actually 11, but it was moved. It was moved to 12. 112 was really 111. I have the script. I was there! But yeah, it was a lot of fun to do.
I was wondering Ruth, where maybe did you get your inspiration for your character from?
From Rowena? For Rowena?
For Rowena.
I thought you were going to ask me about the X-Files, because I thought you were going to ask me where I was when it was happening or getting made, or because I remember it. So, I remember it was such a cultural phenomenon. What an amazing thing to have been a
Where's
part of.
Rowena from?
So Rowena comes largely from the script on the page.
Can you hear this shit?
Yeah, I can.
Hold on.
I was going to tell them off, they're chatting backstage. I still remember the last
Shut up! So away!
I still remember the last line of my audition sides, which was, "Now do you understand why it breaks my heart to see what colossal pussy you've become?" That was good timing.
Who's your fiance?
Was it? Is Calvin there?
Yeah.
Is Calvin?
No, it was the boys having a conversation.
Because if Calvin was there, he wouldn't be in trouble, but now he's in trouble because Calvin's not there. He's in trouble. Yeah, so it was really honestly from the page. And fortunately, I had just done a workshop playing Blanche Dubois. And there was something about doing such a larger-than-life character, such an extreme character in a workshop and really enjoying it, and then getting these audition sides. And I watched several episodes before I did the audition. I knew it was something to do with Crowley. They changed all the names of the audition. I knew it was something to do with Crowley. And I saw Curtis's performance. What's the name of his character he played? Curtis played Metatron. Sorry, I saw Curtis and how
God's typist.
how balls to the wall Curtis went, and and so I kind of took inspiration from the show itself and the characters and how committed the playing was in the show. Bearing in mind I had just played this kind of extravagant type character, and then here was on the page, and if I ever got stuck, I did sometimes think, how would my mum at her angriest shout this? She was a teacher, and a formidable teacher, so it was mostly on the page, and I think it's impossible as an actor to sometimes separate out where you get your inspiration from, because it can be from so many things, and a lot of it is from your instinct. It's an amalgamation of everything you've ever witnessed. there wasn't like one person or one thing. And so much of it was on the page, and you're in trouble. You're in trouble. You're in trouble. Calvin wasn't there, but you were still having a really loud chat. So it wasn't. He said it wasn't him. Do we believe you? No. See? Thank you. Thank you. They get it. Sorry, we really didn't answer your questions very well at all. We really didn't answer very many questions at all. Should we answer one more quickly?
Oh, Christ.
No? No?
No, we absolutely have.
You just went, oh.
Why are you asking
That
Spain?
was the bit. Those were the bit.
Why the hell are you asking Spain?
Yeah, why are you asking me?
Yeah, well, I'm right here.
Yeah.
Well, I just asked you a question. They agreed you were lying, so I thought,
Oh, dear.
They just do this. So hey, Rich.
Yeah. Yeah, take another question, Rick.
What are we doing tonight? Saturday night special?
It's going to be very special.
It's going to be
And
good.
an incredibly Saturday night.
Sorry.
All right, Ruth, take another question.
All right, another question.
quick question.
So, my name's Andrew, I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. My wife and I are new to this. We've just been watching over the last 9 months, and watching the story between Crowley and Rowena has been absolutely magical. I love it. Someone brought up a question last night with Lisa about Rowena trying to get Crowley back from death, and that storyline is fantastic. I loved it. The emotion in it was just amazing. If Death had consented and allowed her to pull Crowley back, what would she have done? And then to Mark, how would Crowley have finally felt that his mother stood up and fought for him to get him back in her life?
I think she would have got back and immediately regretted it.
Story of my life,
Mark?
yeah. Come to Chicago, it'll be fun. I don't know, dude. Whatever.
Right,
I mean, seriously? You're putting way too much thought into this.
It's a supernatural convention.
Don't yuck his yum.
Who are you?
I'm God.
Oh, right, yeah.
You always seem to forget that. And I'm now your father.
And Maggie's my sister.
I think Margaret.
Oh, Margaret, yeah, Margaret's your sister, yeah.
Quite Scottish, you have to call her Maggie.
No!
Maggie May.
No.
Why can't you call her Maggie?
Margaret.
It's got to be Margaret. We Margaret?
MVB.
Oh, yeah. It's always wee stuff with her. I don't know what it
The
is.
we?
Yeah, wee sausage.
My friend Scott is convinced that she's from like Des Moines and she's putting on an act.
Yeah.
Cunning plan. Thank you, everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen,